The late afternoon rain was just drumming against the corrugated tin roof of my little garage in Astoria. Oregon, not Portland. Astoria, a little cozier, and I was wiping grease from my hands, just settling in for the quiet end of the day. Then I heard it, that sad, sputtering cough of a motorcycle engine dying right outside. Through the foggy window, I saw her, a woman in a black leather jacket, dark hair plastered to her face, crouched beside a vintage Indian chief. But here's the thing that made me notice: she wasn't screaming. She wasn't frantically texting. She was just standing there in the downpour, her shoulders trembling slightly. I knew that feeling. I'd been there before, alone with broken machines and shattered dreams. I opened the door and stepped out into the rain. Nobody could have imagined that this simple act of decency would forever change both our lives. I was Levi Donovan, 34, owner of Donovan Automotive on Mariner Street. A guy who'd lost everything: my wife, my dreams, my faith in finding love again. And she was Kara Sinclair, 31, a woman who had everything: money, power, fame, but nobody genuine by her side. Sometimes, the most unexpected encounters are exactly where the greatest miracles start. My shop was small, barely fit 2 cars, but it was organized. On the wall, there's this one faded photograph. Me, younger, smiling wider, standing beside an old Chevy, my arm around Clara, my wife. 2 years ago, Clara passed away from leukemia at 29. I still remember her gripping my hand, whispering, "Teach Skylar to be kind, and please, don't forget to love yourself again." After that, I moved through life like a machine, working, sleeping, caring for my daughter. I forgot to eat, forgot to shave, until one morning, 6-year-old Skylar asked, "Daddy, why don't you smile like when Mommy was here?" Now I try to live again. Every morning, heart-shaped pancakes, scrambled eggs. Skylar sits there, legs swinging, telling me her dreams. "Daddy, I dreamed Mommy said you're really good at fixing trucks, but terrible at baking." I'd laugh, my heart tightening. Clara was always right. I'm not a wealthy mechanic. My customers are folks just scraping by: fishermen, ferry drivers, students with old beaters. I charge fair prices, and yeah, I often waive labor for struggling families. If a fisherman told me, "Levi, I can pay next month when the season closes," I'd just nod. My job wasn't about getting rich. It was about getting people home safe. The small details of our life defined me. I saved sandwich crusts for the harbor gulls. I taught Skylar to say thank you, regardless of someone's job. And every night, I gently folded Clara's photo and whispered, "Good night, love," before turning off the light. My hands are permanently stained with oil, but they're gentle when I braid Skylar's hair or check her forehead for fever. I carried my loneliness like a familiar, quiet weight, the kind that makes you more compassionate. I understood what it meant to feel invisible. This empathy is why I noticed the woman outside. Not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because she looked exactly as lost as I'd felt 2 years ago. She was Kara Sinclair, CEO of Ethel Tech, a company worth $3 billion based in Seattle. Forbes called her the Unicorn Queen. Her office was 40 stories above Puget Sound, decorated with priceless artifacts. But she often sat alone, feeling empty. A week ago, Kyra had called off her engagement to a high society banker. Not because she didn't care, but because he loved her status more than herself. "Kyra, when we marry, our investment portfolios will merge seamlessly," he'd actually said over dinner at a 12-star restaurant. She realized he didn't know her favorite color, earth brown, like the New Mexico fields where she grew up, or her favorite food. She actually hated sushi. Kyra's family was poor. She got through MIT on scholarships and worked endless shifts just to afford ramen. Her only dream was to build a company that helped people and earned enough to move her parents out of poverty. She achieved that, but success became a glass cage. Everyone could see her, admire her, but no one truly saw her. This week, Kira had disappeared. She took her Harley, a gift she'd never had time to ride, and headed south, wanting to feel free. No calls, no meetings. Just a woman on a bike, breathing in the cold Pacific air, when the Harley sputtered and died in Astoria. She stood there, helpless for the first time, not because she couldn't fix the bike, but because she realized she'd forgotten how to ask a stranger for help without using her name or her money. And she didn't know this was exactly what she'd been longing for. "What's wrong with your bike?" I stepped into the rain, still holding my oily rag. Kira turned. I saw her face clearly beautiful, yes, but her eyes held something tired, like someone who had traveled too far for too long. "I'm not sure," she replied, voice shaking from the cold. "It just died." I examined the Harley. She didn't look like my usual customer. High-quality jacket, expensive watch, but those tired eyes. "Come inside. You're soaked. Let me check it out." She sat on a small plastic chair inside the shop, watching me work. "Fuel line's clogged," I told her after 15 minutes. "Probably from sitting unused. I can fix it right away, but we need to wait for the rain to slow down. How much do I owe you?" Kyra asked, reaching for her wallet. $50, I replied without looking up. She frowned. In Seattle, that was an insultingly low estimate. "Are you sure? I can pay more." I stopped working and looked at her. "Why do you want to pay more? The work is only worth $50. That simple question left her speechless. In her world, high prices meant quality, respect, status. But here, the price was just the price. Just then, small footsteps echoed. Skylar appeared, hair in pigtails, holding a sandwich. "Daddy, I'm hungry." "Have you eaten?" She saw Kira, and her eyes lit up. "Hi. You're so pretty." Kyra smiled genuinely for the first time. "Hello there. What's your name?" "I'm Skylar. This is my daddy. My daddy is really good at fixing cars. He says cars are like people, they need love to run well." I blushed. "Skylar, your daddy's right," Kyra said sincerely. "I think I haven't loved this bike enough." When the rain subsided, I finished the repair. The Harley roared to life. "Thank you," Kira said, handing me the $50. Then she paused. Could I come back? "I'll be in Astoria for a few days." "The garage is always open," I replied. But there was something warm in my eyes that had nothing to do with engines. The next day, Kira returned with an excuse to check the tire pressure. The day after that, she wanted to learn basic maintenance. I didn't ask why a woman with an expensive Harley didn't know maintenance. She didn't explain why she needed to stay in Astoria. Maria, the coffee shop owner next door, brought me a coffee. She saw Kira and smiled. "Haven't seen Levi this cheerful in a long time." Kira and Skylar played together in the garage. Skylar taught her to draw. Kyra told Skylar about her travels. "You should grow up to be yourself," Kira told her gently. "That's the most special thing." I watched them, my heart stirring. It had been so long since Skylar was this happy with a woman. And Kyra. There was something authentic about her. No fake mystery, just someone trying to rediscover who she was. She learned to check tire pressure while I patiently explained. Skylar insisted she stay for dinner. Simple spaghetti. Kyra found herself laughing more, sleeping better, feeling lighter than she had in years. No one was trying to impress or use her, but she also struggled with guilt. Every day was a lie. She wasn't just a woman who worked with computers. She was a billionaire CEO whose disappearance was probably causing chaos in Seattle. Yet, every time she considered leaving, Skylar would hug her, or I would smile at something she said. And Kira couldn't bear to break the spell. I, meanwhile, found myself looking forward to her daily visits. There was something healing about her presence. The way she encouraged Skylar's wild imagination, her genuine interest in engines. I hadn't felt this way since Clara's death, and it both thrilled and terrified me. Everything changed on Friday afternoon. Kira was playing blocks with Skylar in the corner of the garage when her phone rang. The emergency phone she'd kept charged but silent. She tried to ignore it, but the 15th call made her answer. "Kyra, thank God. Where are you?" Her assistant's frantic voice burst from the speaker. "The board called an emergency meeting. Stock price dropped 12% because no one knows where you are. The media is speculating health problems." Skylar and I both looked up. Kyra quickly shut off the speaker, but it was too late. "Stock price? Board of directors?" I asked quietly. Kira looked down, defeated. I need to explain." She told me everything: Ethel Tech, being CEO, the valuation, the glass cage. I listened in silence, my face growing cold. "So all of this," I finally asked, my voice bitter, "was this just a game to you?" "No," Kira protested. "What I felt here with you, with Skylar, it's the most real thing in my life." "Most real?" I stood up, my voice rising. "You lied to me for a week. You let me and my daughter believe you were just an ordinary person. What's real about that?" Skylar looked between us, tears forming. "Why are Daddy and Kira fighting? Go inside the house, Skylar, now." Kira knelt down, holding Skylar's hands. "Sweetheart, she has to go back where she belongs." I turned back to Kira, pain raw in my eyes. "Explain what? How you see us? Are we your entertainment? Are we going to be an interesting chapter in Billionaire Kyra Sinclair's memoir?" "You know I'm not like that," Kira pleaded. "I don't know who you are," I replied, the truth hitting me hard. "The woman I thought I knew wouldn't lie for an entire week. You let us open our hearts. Let Skylar get attached to you, and now you'll fly back to Seattle and forget everything." "I won't forget. I can't forget," Kyra cried. "But you will leave," I said, my voice tired. "You have an entire empire to run, and us? We're just an interesting chapter in the life of Kira Sinclair." Kyra stood there, tears falling. She knew I was right. She had hidden the truth because she was afraid of losing these simple moments. But she also hid it because she was afraid I would look at her differently, with calculating eyes, like everyone else who wanted to use her. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I never meant to hurt you and Skylar." "But you did," I said. "And the worst part is you made my daughter believe you would stay." Kira knew there was nothing left to say. She grabbed her bag and walked toward the Harley. "I'll transfer money for the bike repair." "Don't," I interrupted. "You already paid." Kyra stopped at the door. "Levi, if I weren't a CEO, if I were just ordinary Kira, would you?" "But you're not," I said. "And that's the problem." Kira rode away that night, tears blurring her vision. She knew what it meant to love someone more than success, and for the first time, she understood why people say love can cause such pain. 2 weeks later, Kira was back in Seattle, but felt like a ghost. She sat in her 40th floor office, but all she could see was the warm light from my small garage in Astoria. Meetings, contracts, billion-dollar decisions. All felt like someone else's dream. Then, Tuesday afternoon, her phone rang. Unknown number from Oregon. Her heart pounded. "Elena, this is Maria, the coffee shop owner next to Marcus's garage. I got your number from when you left a tip." Maria's voice was terrified. "Can you come to Astoria right away? Skylar had an accident." My blood ran cold. "What accident? Is she okay?" "Fell off her bike. Head injury. She's in a coma at Oregon Health and Science University Hospital. Levi... He's almost collapsed. He won't leave. I think he needs you." Kyra didn't need to hear more. She canceled everything, booked the first flight. During the flight, she prayed for Skylar, prayed for me, prayed to be forgiven for leaving Dot at the hospital. I looked haggard, unshaven. sitting beside Skylar's bed, machines beeping steadily. I looked up when I saw Kira, surprised, but said nothing. "I came as soon as Maria called," Kira whispered, sitting beside me. "How is she?" "Doctors say she might need surgery," I stammered. "My insurance won't cover it. They want to transfer her, but the public hospital doesn't have the best neurology department." Kyra was silent for a moment. Then she pulled out her phone. "Jessica, transfer $500,000 immediately to OHSU. Patient account, Skylar Thompson. Request the best neurology team." I grabbed her hand. "Kyra, I can't accept that." "This isn't for you," Kyra said, looking directly into my eyes. "This is for Skylar. She deserves the best care." I was silent, tears streaming down my face, gripping her hand tightly. "Why did you come back?" "Because I love her," Kira answered honestly. "Because I love you. Because this family is the most important thing in my life." For the next 3 days, Kira didn't leave. She slept in chairs, ate vending machine food, held Skylar's hand, and told her stories about oceans and mountains. I watched her, realizing this was her true self, not the powerful CEO, but someone who knew how to love unconditionally. Wednesday morning, Skylar opened her eyes. "Kyra," her voice was weak. "You came back." Kyra burst into tears. "Sweetheart, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere anymore." I stood beside them, crying too. I realized I'd been wrong. Kyra didn't come back out of guilt. She came back because of love that needed no conditions. 1 month later, Skylar was fully recovered. Kira was still in Astoria, renting a small apartment. She promoted her coup to CEO and was just an advisor now. For the first time, work wasn't her top priority. Mornings, Kira took Skylar to school. Then, she stopped by the garage to help me. She learned to change oil, check tires. "Did you know Kira is really good?" Skylar told Maria. "She fixed Mrs. Peterson's car that even Daddy had to think about for a long time." I smiled, watching Kira concentrate on assembling engine parts. Her hair was tied back, wearing an old t-shirt, hands covered in grease. She looked happier than ever. "Does Daddy love Kyra?" Skylar asked me directly. "Why do you ask that?" "Because Daddy smiles more when she's here. And Daddy isn't sad anymore, like when Mommy died." That evening, Kira and I sat in the small backyard, looking up at Astoria's starry sky. "Kyra," I began, "do you regret leaving everything in Seattle?" Kyra took my hand. "I didn't leave anything. I just brought the most important things here." She looked at me. "You know, my whole life I thought success meant having more things. But now I understand. Real success is knowing how to keep the right things." "So, what's the right thing for you?" "This family," Kyra answered without hesitation. "You and Skylar, morning breakfasts, afternoons in the garage, bedtime stories. I want to become Skylar's mother. I want to grow old with you. Are you sure?" I asked. "This life is very ordinary. Nothing grand like your old world. That's exactly why I love it." She smiled. "Will you have me, Levi Thompson?" Instead of answering with words, I kissed her. A slow kiss full of love and promise. 6 months later, Kyra and I held a small wedding right in the garage, decorated with LED lights and Oregon wildflowers. Skylar was the flower girl. Maria made the cake. No reporters, no celebrities, just real love, real smiles. "Real happiness." In her speech, Kira said, "I used to think I needed to prove my worth through success. But Levi and Skylar taught me that a person's real value lies in their ability to love and be loved." Today, I'm not just marrying the man I love, but joining a family I'll protect and nurture for life. The Harley sits in the corner of the garage, running smoothly. Beside it are Skylar's small bicycle and my old pickup truck. 3 vehicles, 3 people, 1 complete family. Sometimes what we search for our entire lives is right there in the most ordinary moments. Real love doesn't need to be proven by status or money, but by the courage to open our hearts, to trust in the future, and to choose to stay. If this story makes you believe that kindness and love can conquer even a billionaire's trust issues, please share it. And tell me in the comments, if you were Kira, would you have given up an empire for love? Or would you have stayed safe in the glass cage?